Today we're being joined by a potential AFLW draft prospect from the Swan Districts in the waflw, Indiana West. Indiana, thanks for coming on.
That is no problem.
All right, tell us a bit about yourself, what got you into footy and what type of player you are.
So what really got me into kind of just going down to trainings with my younger brother when he was probably back in like year 6, and then a few of them kind of said to me like to go, and then a couple of years went by and I actually decided to give it a go at the women's team for Bunbury, and ended up really enjoying that. And from that Bunbury team I got picked up into the as I'm from Bunbury down here, and then that kind of led me to Swans, and then kind of just went realistically. And I would say the type of player I feel like I'm the type of player that kind of hangs around the outside of the pack for that quick ball out that run and then hit up a forward.
Nice, that's good. So obviously being at the Swans Districts, what's it like being at a club like the Swans Districts? Obviously a good connection there. Seems obviously had a fair few on a golfing comp on the weekend, and they seem to be gelling it well together overall.
Yeah, it's definitely been a bit of a change this year as we've got a new coach. So I really think everyone's kind of well here, and it's just a positive vibe all around at the moment. Vibes are high going round 1, so
that's good. So what was it like coming from, say, a local level when you first moved to the Swans Districts? How was that move for you, and how's it been?
It was definitely a big shock, because at local level it's obviously about having some fun and just doing what you can, trying to just get around with your mates. And then I kind of got up there and everyone was really down to business. Like, you can tell that obviously there to have some fun, but they've got a purpose behind playing as well.
That's good. So obviously you've mentioned in the past to me that you've only played football for a few seasons. So what prompted that move, I suppose, to bring yourself into footy at a later age than some?
Well, I was actually doing a lot of athletics, and I was really quite focused in pole vault, which is not a very popular one, but I was going into all of that kind of for that. So I didn't really have the opportunity to really get into it. And I was also actually racing motorbikes at the time as well. So I just had no free time. And then I ended up breaking my leg in an accident on the bike. So that kind of put an end to that. And then just up footy and went from there.
I mean, an interesting way, to have an injury be the thing that kind of puts you away from that sport to something else. Definitely. Now, obviously, you did win a flag though at your local team, Indiana. So how was that time for you to win a premiership at a local level? I don't care what level it is; it's still good nonetheless.
Oh, it was probably one of my favourite footy memories that I have, actually. I just remember how everyone was so nervous on that day. We were making it out to be this big game, freaking out. And then, because we played before in the grand final, actually. So it was a grand final rematch the year after. And we'd obviously lost last year to Busso, and it was by a point that we lost. So it was it was hyped up, the game. There was so many people there. And it was one of the best feelings, and the whole club got around it. So it was very good.
How good was that atmosphere? You mentioned there seems to have been a fair few people. How would you compare that to, even if you haven't physically been to a local level final before, but would you say it's one of the biggest finals you've seen either at your club or local club or in general? Because it seems like there was a huge turnout.
Yeah, it was definitely probably one of the biggest ones. I think it actually broke a record on the day for the most entries I've had at a final. So it was everywhere you look, there was just someone on the fence. It was great.
It's good. Now, obviously, being at the Swan Districts, and obviously I've gotten to know a fair few over time, whether having them on here or through the Golfing Challenge. Now, I'm not sure if you had the chance to watch or hear about how they went, but soon a few of your teammates participated, and someone may have won.
Oh,
did you know that? No. Okay, well, I want to tell you who then, because there's 4 of them that participated. So the people that participated from your club were Jamie Henry, obviously had didn't participate in the goal game, but she did some roaming Brian, which I've now called hashtag roaming Jamie. She did a really good job at that. That's in the video. I'll send you the link after, but she did really well. So Karis was in there, Kayley King and Gemma. They were the ones that participated in the actual challenge. So which one do you think won out of those three overall?
I'm thinking Karis. She's got a very nice kick on her. I will say that. But I'm surprised I didn't hear about it at training last night, actually.
Well, let's just say whoever won was pretty happy. And, I'm actually quite shocked because one of them may have posters. Interesting. That
everyone was super happy.
Yeah, they all did really well. One of them did say in the back end of the video when they won, one of them said they were so proud, not only because they won, because they got free Yoshi as well. That's what one of them said, if that gives it away at all.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they said. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see how it went. Now, yourself individually, obviously you mentioned about that background that you had in other sports. Obviously in the WA testing, you were the second fastest in the 20-meter sprint at 3.195 seconds, and sprint of all time apparently too in the women's testing, which is pretty cool. And then obviously second in the standing vertical at 56-centimeter jump. How much of the fitness side of things and those type of testing is been in your game before football? And is it something that you use as kind of your strength, that type of, aspect?
Yeah. So I would say the sprint has always been a big part of my game. Even before, since I was 5, I was doing little athletics, and I'd always kind of been quite focused on the sprinting side of the athletics meets. So I would say that's probably have a big effect on my sprinting ability and just all that kind of stuff. The jumping, I don't know where I got that from. Oh,
that's right. All good. Was it just one of those days? Was it then the jumping?
I don't know. I've always just been able to jump. I don't know if it's because it's similar to sprinting. It's a power kind of event, really. That's probably the most logical explanation to it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So obviously, I'm sure, as you said, with the athletics and everything like that, the running. What would you say some of your biggest strengths though as a footballer?
I would say my biggest strengths are probably hitting up forwards, or just having like a good kick to be able to hit someone up. Like that was my job last year, was on the wing or being like a really high half forward. I would come up and I would deliver it down to one of our key forwards. So I'd say that, or just being the person, especially in local footy, I really found it at the end of the year, being able to get in and get footy and sprint away back. I would say that's probably what I did more for my waffle season after picking that up in the local one.
It's good. So obviously too, being your draft year 2 as well, how do you feel going into this year? Because I'm sure, like many, there's always nerves to some degree, at some level. And do you feel any more pressure individually, this being your first draft year, considering the other years? Yes, it's obviously still important because obviously they gradually build up, but because it's the year. But also keeping in the back of the mind, doesn't mean if nothing happened this year, doesn't mean it can't happen ever. Yeah,
exactly. I do feel there is added pressure. I feel like I've definitely put a bit of pressure on myself wanting to get drafted this year. But I feel like the pressure is all just kind of from myself, realistically. Like my family and my friends are all very supportive. No one's is putting pressure on me to get drafted. They just tell me to go out, have a good season, do my best, and the result will be what it will be, realistically.
That's right. And I mean, like, look, if it happens to you, that'd be fantastic, and hopefully it does. But like I'm going to tell everyone else, and I don't need to tell anyone else for them to know this, but there's all these other avenues these days. You can see girls or boys or men or women getting drafted at or through an injury replacement player, a train-on way, pre-season supplementary period. There's mid-season drafts in the men's. There's so many avenues, and not only that, some players are getting drafted or selected at like 28, 30 years of age. And I know you're nowhere near that, but my point is that you got all the, you can be 18 or 33 and you can still get through in any of those ways.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Now, who do you grow up supporting?
I would say I have to be a West Coast. My family has always been a bit of West Coast, but in the past few years, I've kind of started supporting Carlton. So I'd say I'm a bit between the two.
That's okay. Look, I like different answers. I've told some of the WA guilds. It's like just because you're in one state, and I say this to anyone, forget let alone just WA guilds. It's just because you're in a certain state doesn't mean you have to support in WA's case. It doesn't mean you have to support the Eagles or the Dockers.
Yeah, I agree. I know a few people that are supporting a little bit around, but I'd say Carlton and West Coast my main two there.
Yeah. Or if this makes you feel any better too, I've had people from, say, let's say, for example, from Adelaide, this one particular player, I won't name them, is even though it's publicly known, but so they're from South Australia. They may have got drafted from Adelaide. They've got themselves, their brother, and their mum and dad. Two of them go for Adelaide in the men's, and two of them go for Port in the men's. But in the women's, the roles are reversed. The two that go for Port in the men's go for the women's Crows. So I don't think
random.
It is. I couldn't. I had to watch over that about 50 times to make sure I heard that correct, and I'm pretty confident still after listening 50 times that that's correct.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't think you get any. Well, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but like, I don't think you get more complicated. That's probably the right word.
Oh, I agree.
That's why I don't know which mix is who's what, because there's all over the place. But anyway, they're drafting Port now, so I suppose they're all going to be Port Adelaide. But anyway, I'll be surprised if they weren't. Now, some goals for yourself this year. What are some goals you set for yourself this season?
Well, obviously my main goal would be to get drafted, but for my own little goals, I'd also love for Swannies to make finals again. That would be great, and hopefully going a little bit further this year. But for myself, I would say that I would love to get more time on the ball.
Yeah.
As well as just keeping up my efficiency with my kicking and trying to limit silly mistakes.
Yeah. That's
just kind of simple game stuff each game that I can cross off if I did or if I didn't, and then kind of keep working on it.
That's true. So now, obviously, you've only been in footy for a couple of years, but that doesn't necessarily matter to this question. But leadership in any form, have you ever been someone that's in some form of a leadership group or someone that's like doing something like that? If not, is that something you ever look forward to doing? Because really, you can be a leader without having an official title. You don't have to be the captain and vice captain or in a group to be able to contribute to some degree.
Well, I actually used to play hockey a few years ago as well, funny enough. And my last season there, I was the captain, and I ended up captaining us to a hockey grand final as well there. That was probably a moment of leadership. We did have a lot of younger girls that were just kind of coming up. So it was a bit of difficulty because there were some of the older girls that they wanted the ball more than the young ones, and it was just trying to find that middle ground there where everyone was happy. So, but I would definitely love to, hopefully if I stay at Swannies for long enough, I would definitely be interested in having a leadership role there.
That's good. How did you find it doing the hockey captaincy role? Did you feel like you had more, well, obviously the captain's got responsibility, but did you feel any more personally, did you feel more stress going into games or trainings compared to, say, being an unofficial leader?
Yeah, I did. I felt like each game, being the captain, I had to perform to some level. I didn't want to go out and not have a good game.
Yeah.
Kind of like I've let the girls down as I'm trying to lead by example. So, yeah, I feel like there's extra pressure on you, but I don't mind a little bit of pressure at times. I feel like it can make you play. So.
Have you been given any advice on how to handle this year, not just for the draft, but just as a whole? And is there any particular key advice? Any coaches, players, family members, or anyone at all that's given you some advice how to handle this year in particular?
I've had a little bit of advice given me, but nothing crazy. It's been about go out, have fun, and do your best. Don't leave any stone unturned. Make sure that you're putting in the work so that at the end of the year, if you don't get drafted, you can say that you've given 100%. You couldn't have done any better. So that's all I'm trying to do. give it 100% every time that I go out on the track or in the gym. Just 100%.
It's good. Now, any nicknames you get at the club that you like or dislike?
Last year at Bunbury, I actually got the nickname the Bull because
No.
of at the end of the year when I was just kind of going in and going hard for the footy. But I don't know if I'm a fan of it or not. I mean, it's kind of stuck down here, but up in Perth, I'm not really having a name. I'm just plain old indie up there. So
That's right. No indie then.
no, I get indie occasionally down here, but not too much.
Fair enough. Just for context, everyone, that's what she called her username on here. So that's why I brought that up.
Oh,
But
that's
doesn't matter. It's covered anyway. No one can see it. All good. Oh. That's all right. That's why I wondered if that was a nickname as well. But anyway, well, it could be one. It's a shortened version as well. Yeah, that's all right. If you were to use an AFLW player comparison, Indiana, to the type of player you play like, who would you say that is? Now, some people say too with this question, they say, on hope to play like, but it's more the style of play that you would play like that's currently on a list at men's or women's level.
That's a really good question.
It's more of an attacking wingman type person?
Yeah, I would say that I am definitely more attacking than defensive, but I'm trying to think. I don't have as much run as some of those, so
okay.
You've stumped me with this one.
That's all right. We'll move on. That's sometimes a good thing. So coaches' pets, Swan Districts, do they have any coaches' pets?
Do we have? I would actually say probably don't actually have. No, I don't think we do actually. Yeah, everyone's actually pretty good. No one's really sucking up too much, so I'm gonna say no, we don't. Okay,
that's sometimes I'm getting that answer lately, but that's sometimes a good thing. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's funny, but no, that's okay. That's a good thing. Now, who loves? I'm sure there's an answer here. There has to be. Who loves the limelight, the attention, the camera at the Swan Districts, and they can't get enough of it, and they know exactly what to do when there's a camera around?
Oh, I'm gonna have to say Kayley King.
Yes, yes.
She loves it. She's so funny. Yeah, definitely her.
Yep, and I mean, I know that only just off that one day I met her at that Golden Game. I knew that I liked it.
I could.
Yeah, you just have to watch. If no one knew, all I have to do is watch the video, and there was more that wasn't recorded. But of the ones that's recorded, you'll understand why that's an answer. It's a good one. Would you put anyone else under that category? Would you put Karis under there? Would you put Gemma? Would you put Jamie under that spot?
I feel like Jamie would probably be not too bad as well. She's been exposed to a bit of media in her time, so I think that she doesn't mind the camera.
Yeah.
But I would say Kayley King definitely takes top spot.
Yeah, that's very. Yeah, no, Jamie's pretty good. I mean, I put the suggestion to her because she wasn't going to kick. I said to her, "Did you want to do something for the thing?" She said, "Yep," and then I was like, "Yep, got it," and she just nailed it without nailing it. Just did very well on the. She's gunning for my job at the moment. She's doing all right at it. Now, what do you feel is the best individual game you've ever played in that's got you into the position that you're in now?
Ooh.
Was it games?
Well, games, actually.
Yep.
The game that I played as a Southwest Development player that actually got me picked up into the summer squad of States and also into Swans, that was probably my best game I've ever played. I don't know what I ate that morning, but I was definitely having a good one that day. And then during the season last year, when we played at the Wacker against Rio, I also played a really good game that game as well. So I'd say them two are probably my better of my game.
That's good. What would you say is the toughest opponent you've ever matched up on? Is there any particular player that comes to mind, or is it more a team?
Well, I'm gonna say Kate Orme from Claremont. Okay. I remember first season on the wing. obviously I was nowhere near as fit as I am now, I would say, but she just knew exactly where to run to get the ball. She could just outrun me. She could outmark me. She could everything. I was just getting chopped up, and I think I came after that game.
Yeah.
So that was definitely, and I think it was one of the earlier games in the season too. So it was a bit of a shock realizing that kind of woke me up into how it's going to be. So
That's good. Now, what do you feel is the best goal you've ever kicked? I'm sure you kicked some goals at local or in the waflw in some level. And what would you say is the best one you've ever got?
the best goal, what? What is the best goal? I'm not too much of a goal kicker, but I would probably say maybe Swans last year. It wasn't even that good of a goal. It was just like I was running in from the 50. I got the hands and I just kicked it as far as I could, and it bounced through in the square. I have not done anything too silky like a pocket or a barrel side. So no, I would have too much of a goal there.
Fair enough. I mean, that's still fine. That distance is. But what would you say is your average distance kick?
For as far as I can. Oh, I'm thinking on a good kick, 40 to 45 maybe.
That's pretty impressive. That's good. Now you're talking about not really kicking many goals. If you were to best describe the best goal you would love to get, what would it be?
I would definitely love it to be grand final, 5 points down. I've got the wind going with me. I'm in the center like square, and I just launch a barrel and it goes straight through the middle. I reckon that would be so sick. And then everyone jumps on you because you just won the game for them after the siren.
Absolutely, that'd be really cool. Now, goal celebrations. Have you ever pulled out? You said there hasn't been many goals you got, but have you ever been one to pull out a goal celebration when the goal does happen? If not, what celebrations would you bring out?
I'm not much of a goal celebrator. When I kick my goals, I just hit them with the little fist pump, high five on my teammates. But if I kicked that goal after the siren, I would try to do a backflip or something.
Yeah, that'd be really good. So if that happens, I'm going to remember that, and I'm going to find out to see if you did that. That'd be good. And actually, someone earlier said the same things. So now I've got a few people that told me that's what they'll do if they have a certain moment. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. Now there's a test crew. I'm not sure if you've heard of it or not, from West Indies. His name's Kevin Sinclair. He does a backflip, and when he gets a wicket, he got his test debut wicket like a month ago against Australia, and he did a backflip. So he ran like 20 meters sideways or so, roughly 20 meters. And then he did 3 backflips, all in one go, no pausing, which is 1, 2, 3. And he nailed it. Apparently, he does that on a regular basis too.
Maybe I need to start practicing.
Do you think you'd be able to nail that 3 times?
No way. I don't even think I could do 1.
I was gobsmacked when I saw it.
Yes, I would be too. That's crazy.
Absolutely. Now, mark or goal of the year? Which one would you rather do and why?
Ooh. No, I'd have to go goal of the year. If I do mark of the year and then I mess the kick up, then ruins mark of the year. You know what I mean? If you goal, then you can have a good celebration, and it's definitely goal of the year.
Absolutely, I'd choose that as well. And I mean, look, you can't go wrong either way. 50-50. Everyone's got their pros and cons for that. But if it's just pretty good. And with the mark, I suppose you can get a good profile picture. But with a goal, you got good footage. And would you be one to rewatch it and or post it?
If I kick goal of the year?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Love the honesty and love that answer, because a lot of people shy away from saying they post it. They're like, well, if the club posted or if a friend posted, I might share it. Just post it.
If I'm kicking goal of the year, there's no way that I'm not showing anyone that I've just done that.
Absolutely, I'd be one to do that, especially if it's filmed. You bet your bottom dollar it's getting posted. Any outside of footy interests that you have outside of footy?
Yeah, I have a few. I'm actually quite interested. I would say probably my biggest interest at the moment, I'm actually following the sprint cars. I don't know if you really know too much about that, but because my dad, he's always been around motorsport. Like, he used to race cars. So as I've been young, I've kind of grown up with it, and I've just kind of really followed along with it as I've grown up. So I'd say that's probably one of my main interests outside of it.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Any favorite TV shows or movies?
I actually love the TV show Suits on Netflix.
Mhm.
That, and I also I've just started watching F1's Drive to Survive on Netflix as well, and I'm finding that quite interesting at the moment as well. So
Nice. Well, that fits in with the racing theme, so that makes sense.
Yep.
Are you want to rewatch shows or movies or whatever over and over again, or are you someone that just has to watch it once and that's it? And if you do rewatch them, are you one that would remember scene by scene?
I actually am one to rewatch. If I really like something, I think that I'll leave it for a little, come back to it, and I'm definitely one to remember scene by scene. And I feel like I'm a bit of an annoying person to watch with, because I feel like I start spoiling it for people that haven't watched it.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'm like you in terms of number one, I do rewatch things or certain shows, and I remember scene by scene because I'm like this, and I'm like you mentioned, but people don't want you spoiling, but I can't help myself sometimes. And sometimes I'll watch it in my head or watch it out on my own. I'll go, all right, he's going to get punched in the head in 3, 2, 1, boom. It happens. Just like that. He's about to get hit. 3, 2, 1, boom.
Yeah, and I'll be saying that when someone's next to me, and they're just like, shut up, don't ruin it.
And what's funny is, too, some people try to do that to me. If I haven't watched some show and they've seen or they've told you to go watch it and they're doing it back, or if it's just someone I haven't done that to, and it's like that. Then now I know how they feel, though, because I'll be like, shut up.
I thought people do that to me.
Oh, exactly. Only we can do that. They're not allowed to.
Yeah.
That's negotiable. What do you feel is something someone does at the club that pisses you off to some degree that you can't stand, whether it's leaving rubbish around, it's being flat out annoying? Is there anything that comes to mind? Scaring people?
I know exactly what it is.
And that is?
So, obviously, because I drive up from Bunbury, I'm a little bit one of the later ones to get there before training. And I'm number 9, and I always go to my locker and someone is sitting there, and I get so annoyed. I cannot deal with it. I always get their bag and I move it. I'm like, nope.
Good. That's good. Who's the culprit?
They annoy me.
Is it the same person doing this all the time, or is it chop and change?
The same bag every single time. And there's always me, but they pick mine, and I just...
So does the person do it on purpose?
Maybe. If they're trying to piss me off, they're working well.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it's probably working. Now, number 9, did you get a choice to pick number 9? How did that process go? And if you did get to pick, why did you choose 9?
Yeah, so last year, I originally wanted number 5, but I couldn't get that. And then, funny enough, I actually seen a TikTok on my phone, and it was reasons you should wear number 9. It was like, Paddy Cripps has worn it, Nick Nui has worn it, Lockie Neal, and I'm like, all of these people are so good. Like, I need number 9. So then I got stuck with 9, and I'm sticking to it. I had a good season last year, so I'm going to run it again.
That's good. I mean, look, some people are a bit split with this. Some people don't care about jumping up. Sometimes it has importance to it, whether it's what you just said or if it's a certain person's birthday or something like that type of stuff. Do you feel now with number 9, you gave a reason why, but what is the difference between, say, numbers 1 to 9 compared to a double-digit number? I don't understand some people's obsessions with single-digit numbers compared to double-digit numbers. Can you understand what the big difference really is outside of certain individual numbers?
I mean, I feel like single numbers look better on your back, but when I first started at Bunbury, my number was 29, so I was probably the worst number to get, but worked well for me, so I'm happy with that. Anything with a 9 in it, I'm kind of happy with at the moment. So
that's good. So just shave the number 2. You shaved the 2 and just left the 9.
Yep, exactly. I'm sticking to the 9. They're working well for me.
That's good. Who would you say? Oh no, I've done that. Teammates you've been impressed by Indiana that kind of fly under the radar a little bit. They don't really get talked about as much as they should. If they do get talked about, not as much.
I'm gonna say only because she's another winger that I get along with very well at trainings is Emma Nannet. The unrewarded running that she did last year was crazy to me, and I just feel like it doesn't get talked enough about how much that she actually runs and backs the team up, even though she might not get as much touches as someone who's on the ball, but she definitely works as hard or if not harder than them. So,
if you were the AFL CEO or AFLW CEO for one day, Indiana, what rule are you changing or adding?
I feel like I'm changing the new rule that they just brought in for the waffle girls.
Okay.
It's called and I don't know. It's the one where the two forwards have to be in the 50 and one has to be behind halfway line at every stoppage.
Zone.
Yeah, I don't know what's it.
I'm not sure. It might be a zone thing. Yeah, that doesn't sound great.
It's I can't remember what it's called, but it's two forwards must always be in the 50 and one must be behind the midway line at every single stop round.
It's more of a restriction. Yeah, that's not. Yes. Is it just through Rogers Cup or is that the whole waffle overall?
Just the waflw. I don't know if it's a thing with the waffle the man waflw. So I would get rid of that.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but now that you just said that, I would absolutely dump that as well. Have you ever had any AFL, AFLW player interactions as a fan? If so, were there any memorable or forgettable moments?
I actually have not. The closest I've been to an AFL player is when I did this development. I think it was called Peak Development. I got to watch them train on the ball. So that was probably the closest thing I've had to it.
And so, sorry, what was that you just said it was called? It just dropped there for a second.
Peak Development. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. It was like some development training that was up in Perth. So.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Now, this is always something that's very interesting to me and find this out. Defenders, I feel like they deserve a bit more love and attention. They don't really get as much as the other positions do. Obviously, the forwards have a Coleman, the midfielders have a Brownlow, and so do rucks get recognised in that. Anyone that says that Brownlow is not a midfielder's award is pretty much lying. Do defenders need their own as well?
I definitely think defenders do need to have an award. I mean, some people would say that they don't have to do. I would say that some of them don't have to do as much hard work, but at the end of the day, they are the ones that are kind of winning the games for you to some degree. They goals and they're bringing them back up to the forward line. Yeah, I definitely think that they need an award.
And I mean, an award that comes to mind that was used as a piss take, but is now, or still had for a little bit, it was real and still is now. The late Danny Frawley had a segment on Bounce, I don't know if you knew, called the Golden Fist. And I think that would be a good, where he gave it for defenders a 3-2-1 in every game of every week, combined all three best of the round, and then obviously in his passing, they still honour it for him and they're still doing the show. I think that'd be a good one. And the actual trophy for that, when it's not broken, is actually a cool trophy. It's a massive gold one, and they click the button and it just springs out when it's not broken. So, I think that'd be a great one.
That would be perfect. I haven't seen that it does that. That's sick.
Absolutely. I think that'd be a really good one. That they should do something like that. What is some fun facts about you that people may not know?
Some fun facts. I would probably say that I've nearly done almost every sport under the sun down here. I mean, I've done swimming, I've done motocross, I've done pole vault, hurdles. Just about everything I think you can name. I've probably done. I've done a bit of horse riding as well when I was younger. So yeah, a bit of variety there. Definitely a fair bit of variety. Now, this is where the questions, Indiana, start to get very interesting. Some teammates may be happy, some teammates may be salty. This is where that happens. So, best chatterbox of the club? Kayley King, for sure. She loves.
Like I said before, now I know that answer, so I was expecting that. it's also maybe the same answer. Who is the loudest and quietest teammate?
Loudest, I'm definitely going to say Kayley King. And quietest, I'm going to say Emma Nunnett. She doesn't like to speak up much. She just likes to get down to business and do it. So
That's good. Some of your most prized possessions.
my phone for sure. Don't know if really live without that. And I'm gonna say my car as well. I love my car. So
two good answers. And I mean, anyone your age and my age is very similar to yours. Anyone that says they can't live without a phone at that age in particular, even if it's not a high priority, at some level of high priority, they're full of crap.
Yeah, I agree. You need your phone, fortunately.
Absolutely do. If you were stuck on a deserted island with teammates, who would you not want to bring and who would you bring?
See, I feel like you could say Kayley for both of these. You'd have great entertainment on one hand, but on the other hand, I don't know if you'd get peace and quiet. So, can I say her for both?
Yeah.
I'll say Kayley.
Oh, I want to say how King reacts to that. Now, all right. So this is where we get more debatable with food. This is the controversial food questions. Right. First off, chicken palmy. Is it a palmy or is it something else?
It's a palmy. A chicken palmy.
Good. And I'm glad you said that because I would have debated that back because it's literally spelled in the name, isn't it? P-A-R-M-I. There's no E, there's no Y, there's no I. Well, there is an I. There's no O, there's no E, Y, and all that crap variations they give you. It's in the name.
What are they calling them?
I've heard people call people. I'm surprised you haven't. So it's a chicken palmy, right? And people call it chicken parma, chicken parmo, chicken parma with E-Y. It's I roll my eyes back every time I hear some clown try and tell me it's that.
No, it's chicken palmy for sure.
Exactly, Parmigiana, not Parmigiana, not Parma.
So bad. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. There's not many things that piss me off, but that's one of them. Now the next one, this could go anyway. Tomato sauce, cupboard or fridge?
Cupboard. I keep mine in the cupboard, so cupboard.
Good. 2 for 2. I'm loving this. This is good. Yeah, that's the answer I wanted for. Now this one could be. I don't know why, but I feel like you're going to go the opposite of me in this one. Pineapple on a pizza, yes or no?
I love it.
Okay, I knew it. I knew that. I just, for some reason, I thought that.
Love it on there. It gives it that perfect amount of flavour.
Okay, 2 out of 3, that's good enough. And maybe these next few answers might dictate if there's more points or not. Favourite food?
I'm going to have to say, if it's cooked well, a Scotch fillet steak is just, it hits the spot. But if it's not cooked, like, perfectly, I'm going to say a good carbonara.
I love that you said if it's cooked good, because I'm sure going off that answer, you've had something that been cooked at other crap.
Yep. That's the worst feeling because you pay a decent amount of money for a good steak these days. And then if you get it out, and I like mine medium rare, so if I get mine and it's bleeding, I'm like,
Oh, no. No. Hell no. Food you don't like?
Food that I don't like. I don't really like anything lemon. I had a lemon cheesecake the other day, and I did not like that, so I'm going to say that.
Yeah, there's all these places that have these similar foods. Like you might like a certain type that, like I say, another place has made it, but then you'll have the same thing, or so you think it's the same thing. You'll have it somewhere else, and the variation is just completely different.
I agree. Yeah.
Now, if you do cook, what's the best dish you cook? If you don't, what's something that's nice and basic that you would do?
I would actually going to say my go-to meal for if I'm on a Sunday and I'm feeling in a good mood to cook some food, I always have some mince and then I just throw in some onions and some beans and then put some pasta in. So it's not a proper spaghetti bolognese, but it's close to it. We'll just say some spaghetti and mince.
I like that answer. 3 out of 4. Good job. Now, good. Now this could make it 4 for 5. Favorite takeaway place?
Ooh. Takeaway. Well, I find a good fish and chips, so I might say a fish and chip shop, or well, actually, I can say Mondo Fresco down in Bunbury have Mondo Fresco, and they actually make a very, very nice carbonara. So I might go there, Mondo
Now,
Fresco.
I'm going to give that a tick because I like carbonara, so we're going to count that as well. So 4 for 5. And I'm going to ask you this because every Perth player your age seems to keep bringing this up. And now I know what it is because when I told people I didn't know what this was, people kept being shocked. What is sombreros?
No, are you kidding?
No, but what's so good about it?
How do you not know what that is?
The Perth thing, I thought it was.
Oh my God, that is so good. So on my way to Perth, actually at the midway stop, there is a Zamburos, and every single time I will go in and get it without hesitation.
Go to
what's my meal there?
Yeah.
So I get, depends on how hungry I am, but normally I just get a regular.
Yeah.
I get rice, pinto beans, and then I get chicken, sour cream, corn, and I don't like any of the other ones, so I don't get any guacamole or tomatoes or anything like that. I get corn and then garlic sauce, and that's me done.
No, not bad. I don't get the fascination for guacamole or avocado. I just don't understand that one. But anyway.
I don't like avocado at all. It's too plain for me.
Good answer. That's now 4 out of 5. We'll take 5 out of 6. I love it now.
I think it's
good.
5 now.
At 5, there we go. I think you broke the record now. Good. Now, this is where it's sort of food. So what are some quirks some people would say that you have that you don't necessarily like admitting?
Some quirks. I get that I'm a little bit weird at times. I feel like I have some outbursts of just where I need to let it go. I don't know.
Let it go. That's a nice song. Now, celebrity crush.
Celebrity crush. You know what? I say Paddy Cripps from Carlton.
Yeah.
Not a bad looking guy. And I'm also gonna say,
yeah.
What was his name? Devon Robertson.
From Brisbane. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, so you would have loved that game last year where the top ripped accidentally.
Yeah, that's the one that made him come to my mind actually just then.
Yeah. Did you watch that live, or did you see the million of clips that people were posting?
Just For You page was just heaps, so that's where I said.
Did you know he gained like around 1 million subscribers because of that? Or from that? Something not 1 million. It was like 100,000 maybe. Something extravagant.
Surprised me, but like that is crazy.
It was over half of what he had. It was, and he had a decent number, but that's
wild.
Gee, all over it. Gee, is everyone giving people ideas now? Anyway, well, we have to look like him, I guess. Now, a few more for you in the end, so I really appreciate you coming on. Who does something? So we mentioned this before about who does something at the club about the locker. Do you want to name the person?
Well, I actually don't know who they are. And the worst part is I went to look for their bag and see what number they have, but they have no number on the bag, so I can't tell who it is.
So there we go. Detective Indiana's going to do some detective work.
I have to figure it out and tell them off.
Yeah, so does yours have a number on it then, the bag?
My bag has a number on it, and it's got a big fat number 9 right above it, so I don't know how they don't see it.
Okay, so I'm just trying to connect the dots here. I'm trying to find out who the culprit is. It maybe say it's a new player or someone that's got a high number that doesn't have a bag.
Possibly. Maybe I just have to leave school a bit earlier and get there and see who it is.
Catch them in the act. Them in the act. Have them. That'd be a good one. Now, game day superstitions. Have you got any?
I'm the most superstitious person, I reckon. If I train well on a Wednesday night, I won't wash my socks for the game, and I'll just wear them again. So I've got to stick to the same breakfast. Like if I play well, same breakfast, same everything. Put my music in, and I just wear the same socks, the same underwear, same.
Yeah. Nice. I've heard people that say that, so you wouldn't be the only one. So one more, I really appreciate you coming on. So I won't leave you too long before it's pitch black in the background. So the final one. So dream scenario, Indiana. If you can map out this entire season in a perfect world, how would you love this season to pan it from now all the way until December?
Okay. I would love to have just a gradual build from my personal disposal and efficiency, all that. Swans make finals, and I keep building, and we make grand final.
Yep.
And then I play the best game I've ever played in my life on the grand final. I get best on ground. We win the flag, and then and I turn 18 the day after the grand final, so go out on that day and just have the best time of my life.
Hopefully, Indiana it all maps up for you and the girls in the Swan Districts. Now, actually, one more thing too. I did tell some of the girls pre-Golking Challenge that I would pick a team. I've actually picked the team you're representing, so it's good to have the district love on here. I've had Jamie on, I've had Kayley on, I've had Karis on, I've had probably a few others, Hannah Plummer as well. So I've had a fair few on. So it's nice to see the district love for the people that now I'm supporting in the WaflW. So good luck this year, and I'll be more biased with you guys or girls.
That is good. That's what I want to hear.
That's exactly right, Indiana. Appreciate you coming on and all the best this week.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you.